Alrighty, hello. Welcome. My name is Amanda. I have had alopecia since I was 4 years old. So, majority of my life I've been a bald little bean. I'm just gonna try. Oh, there we go, so much better. So for a majority of my life, I've been a bald little bean. And I was just gonna talk about that journey. So I had a really bad panic attack when I was 4 years old. So after that, all of my hair started falling out. It was falling out in like massive chunks, massive patches. You know, we tried all of the cortisol creams, all of the steroid injection shots, naturopathic medicine, Chinese medicine. I think I even tried Rogaine at some point, but nothing was working for my particular type of alopecia. So my hair started rapidly falling out in junior kindergarten, and then by senior kindergarten, I was completely bald, and I haven't had hair since. So it's been a long time, but honestly, or I'm not gonna say but honestly, I'm gonna say honestly, like it took me a very, very long time to accept it. And that's kind of why I wanted to share this journey for anyone that might be going through it. So by the time senior kindergarten, junior kindergarten rolled around and I was pretty much bald, I got bullied and made fun of a lot, which when you're a kid is definitely difficult. I can kind of sit back and like laugh about it now because obviously it's been a long time and I've worked through it since then, but for a majority of my life it did have a really big impact on me. I was always like, why am I different? Why am I the weird kid? Like, why don't I have hair? Like, especially in a culture where hair is seen as like everyone cares about what their hair looks like. Everyone wants that thick, healthy, luscious hair. Like, you know, you spend how much money on shampoo, conditioner, all this stuff, and like other treatments to try and grow your hair so healthy and thick, especially in today's day and age. So it's definitely hard when you don't have hair. But you know, it's been a long journey and I've done a lot of self-growth, self-development throughout the years. And I really think that that is the point in my journey where I'm at now. And that is kind of the point that I want to focus on. So just to keep going back in my history a little bit. So like I mentioned, junior, senior kindergarten, all my hair fell out. I can insert some pictures. I was completely bald by end of senior kindergarten. And then so I was wearing wigs. I've been wearing wigs pretty much since I was 8 years old. And the thing that I've really come to notice is it is worth it to spend money on good quality wigs. Because some of the ones that I worn before, I looked a little bit wiggish, which isn't a big deal, but most people that wear wigs, that you know, you kind of want them to be discreet. So I've been wearing wigs since I was in elementary school. Growing up, I didn't really know anyone that had alopecia, you know, like no one else around me had alopecia. And so it definitely had a big impact on that elementary school experience because I was like, I'm the weird kid. But now looking back at it, I have a completely different view, but I'll touch on that later. And then it wasn't until high school when I started to lose my eyebrows. So these eyebrows are by Baldy Bean by Chloe. She is a fellow alopecia girly. So that's what I wear on the day-to-day right now. I find that they've worked the best for me. You know, I've tried microneedling, I've tried all the other stuff. These ones I like the best. And I will say that is a big thing about your alopecia journey is it does take some time to figure out what works for you, especially if you're trying to like blend your eyebrows, blend your false eyelashes, you know, blend your wigs into your head. It does take time to really get the hang of that, but I promise it gets better. So yeah, I started losing my eyebrows in high school. So all throughout high school, didn't have eyebrows, didn't have hair, but I still had my eyelashes, which thankful for now, but you know what? New chapter, because as soon as I went away to university, I don't think it was until second year university when I started losing like chunks of my eyelashes, but I went through a bunch of medical stuff. Second year uni, I was just having a hard time and my eyelashes started to fall out. So again, don't really have any eyelashes. And all of this, I will say, has played a really big role in a lot of my development and the person that I've been, the person that I've become, because it is tough when you have something and you're almost, for most of my life, I was like terrified of people finding out. I was like, people are gonna think I'm alopecia, or they're gonna figure out I'm bald and they're gonna judge me for it, which is such a silly way to think looking back on it. And then eventually I kind of transitioned into the acceptance stage. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I've tried all of the medical things that are out right now for my hair. None of them are working. Like, I don't want to keep injecting like steroids into my scalp. They hurt. The injections hurt and they don't work very well if you have more than like a few small patches missing. So all that stuff, and it really was hard for the longest time, but I think that in the past year, I have really grown into the embracing it stage of my life. And this is the one that I really wanted to touch on because I've received so many compliments or just so many comments from people talking about this. So this is the part that if you are struggling with hair loss, if you're struggling with alopecia, this is for you. There are always going to be people that do not like you. There are always going to be people that have something to say about you. You're not going to be loved by everyone, but that doesn't mean that nobody loves you, and that doesn't mean that you are not going to find people that don't care if you're bald. I promise most people don't care. You probably care, like yourself, you probably care more than most people who you're going to be friends with or encounter. And if they are someone who's going to judge you for something that you literally cannot change about yourself, why do you want them in your life anyways? So I've gotten quite good at just cutting people out. You know, if they make any comments, if they do say or do anything, I'm just like, you know what? Like, that's okay. You are entitled to your own opinion, but I don't resonate with that and I don't want you in my life. And I really think this feeds a lot into my dating and relationships and friendships, because for the longest time, my perception of self-value, self-love, self-confidence, whatever you want to call it, was so low because I was in the mindset of, if like I don't have hair, how am I pretty? I don't have hair. Like, people would give me compliments. They'd be like, you're gorgeous, you're stunning. And I'd be like, yeah, but like, I see myself without the lashes, the eyebrows, the hair. And like, I don't think I'm pretty, like all that stuff. And so that was the biggest change in my mindset, is that now I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I have this thing, but on the day-to-day, it doesn't really impact my ability to live life whatsoever. So I, in a way, consider it lucky compared to all of the other things that people struggle with on a daily basis. And life is so short at the end of the day that if you're going to waste all of your time so consumed by the fact that you don't have hair and not really living your life, like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, if you were, say you were on your deathbed tomorrow, would you look back at your life and be like, oh, like, dang it, nobody liked me because I didn't have hair? No, you'd probably be like, oh, like, I wish I hadn't missed out on this opportunity, or I wish I hadn't been so hard on myself. Like, I wish I would have loved myself more. And that's what this whole journey really comes down to, is learning to love yourself, because that's all that you have at the end of the day. And so many people take that for granted, but learning to love yourself is probably the most important part of this journey. And that's something that I really think people can take away. Also, like, just looking at it from the perspective of, you can have so much fun with it. Like, you can be blonde one day, brunette the next day, you know, bob one day, long hair one day, you know. So many celebrities wear wigs. In other cultures, wigs are so normalized. So, you know what? At the end of the day, you are gorgeous, with or without hair. And that is something that I think we should all take away from life. So, hopefully you enjoyed this ramble.